Hello, welcome to another episode of Mushachusetts. I'm your host, Bob Tremblay. We have a really cool morning today, so we're going to go out for a short run. And when I get back, we're going to talk about 5 essential pieces of equipment you need if you're a dog musher. Well, I was gone most of last week for work, leading a 5-day backpacking expedition. And anyway, so during that time while I was away, the dogs didn't get a run in. So this is going to be their first run in about 7 days, which is a long stretch for them. So they are very anxious and ready to run. And I'm really pleased because when we woke up this morning, the temperature was 19 degrees. So it's nice, it's cool. There still isn't any snow on the ground, so we have the bicycle. But we'll get them out for a short run, and then we'll take a look at some equipment when we get back. Stand. Ready? Let's go. Up. That's it. Good, good, good. Good dogs. Yes. Good dogs. Yes. And this is the GANGLINE that I use to attach the dogs to the bike. These 2 brass clips, these are the ones that get attached to the harness of the dogs. These are both bungee lines, so when the dogs pull, there's a shock, so it isn't just a static pull. It's a little bit more cushioned on them. So their 2 tug lines come to this one metal ring, and this is the entire GANGLINE. Okay, so their 2 tug lines come to the GANGLINE, and the GANGLINE comes up and through this contraption. And so you'll see here is the GANGLINE actually attaches to another short sectional line that goes through this PVC pipe. And this PVC pipe is designed, this is actually riding above the tire, the front tire of the bike. And this is what keeps the line from getting caught in the tire of the bicycle. And this large parabiner that I have right here is what actually clips onto a short section of a webbing collar that I've put onto the front post of my bike. And so this actually is where the bike gets attached. And so the bike is attached here. The PVC keeps the line from getting tangled up in the front tire of the bike. Another bungee line for the GANGLINE comes through here and eventually attaches to the dogs. Very essential piece of gear, because this is how you're actually connected to the dogs as you're running. Another essential piece of gear is a neckline. And so this neckline, you see, this is just a short section of rope that I have tied a figure 8 knot loop, and I have a swivel brass clip on either end. These get attached to each of the dog's collars. So each of the dog's collars has a large ring, and this is what keeps the dogs side by side. So they're attached to each other by their collars. And then they have their harnesses, which are attached to the GANGLINE, which is attached to the bicycle. Good. That's it. Good dog. See you around. Yes. And these are the 2 harnesses that I use for Bandit and Shiva. I probably have another 25 harnesses left over from when I had my Malamutes, but they're all too large for my 2 Huskies to wear. These are what we call X-back harnesses. X-back is not a brand. It's just it describes this type of harness that's used for mushing dogs. It's called an X-back because this part right here, this X goes right over the back. It's flexible. The dog's neck goes through right here. This will rest on their sternum. Their body's in here, and then of course the tug line right here is right above the base of their tail. So this is an X-back harness that's used for mushing. And when the dog is pulling, they really should be pulling along the whole length of their body. And that's why the tug line here is back over the base of their tail, because the entire harness, they're pulling really from their chest all the way through the length of their body, all the way down their spine and out their tail. So they're not just being pulled back between their shoulder blades.
Yes, yes, yes. Good dogs ahead.
And this is the type of collar that I use for my dogs. This is what's called a continuous loop collar. You'll see that it is one section of nylon webbing. There's no buckles on it. It does have a, well, not a true buckle, but a little slider. Okay, so this allows you to adjust the collar for the dog's neck. What's great about a continuous loop collar like this is you don't have any buckles to worry about opening up. And I think what's really critical is that it has a large ring. And so this large ring right here is what enables you to clip their neckline, to clip their leash. It's a large ring, which I really like because a lot of times I have heavy gloves on when I'm using the clips. And so this allows me to put multiple clips, and it's easy for me to grip with my mitts. I really like the continuous loop collar with a large mushing ring on it.
All right, we'll take the road. All right, G, no, G turn, G, yes. Good dogs, let's go. It's a nice way to change things up for them a little bit.
So of course the most essential gear is the dogs themselves. While probably any dog breed can be taught to pull and to mush, my experience has been with the Nordic breeds. I've worked with Alaskan Malamutes, and now, of course, I have Bandit, my Siberian Husky, and I have Shiva, my Alaskan Husky. I find that the Nordic breeds basically teach you how to dog sled. And so my personal recommendation is that the Nordic breeds make the best mushing dogs breed you can find.
Hop. Hop. Yes. Hop. Oh. Good dogs. Go first.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode and that I was able to inspire you to get outside with your own dogs. Until next time, this is Bob Tremblay, and I'll be looking for you on the trail.